using slipstreams if you can. And yeah, it certainly makes things more interesting. You're planning on just pitting for fuel, and you generally try to save fuel. Well, fair enough. It is the safer option, obviously, going for the pit stop. Though being lapped might make me consider going to the end. It will, I think, it'll take a bit longer to go a lap down on Suzuka, just because of the length of the circuit. It's not like we said Brands Hatch last week, where it's such a short circuit. But we'll see. It's like I say, you never know what's going to happen in these races. But we're coming into the final 15 minutes of practice now. We currently have 9 drivers in the server. This is a new driver to this particular championship, Felipe Farinaki. I hope I have pronounced that correct, like I said. Look at the time spread, 11 seconds. Yeah, true. There is quite a bit of a gap between P1 and P7, but I'm interested to see where Farinaki comes, because I know we were racing in the Open Wheel Championship, and I think he did pretty well there, so this championship's obviously aims to be more of an intermediate championship, so we'll see how he fares here. That'll be something interesting to look out for. Malad Duck has redeemed Talk, right, Yorkshire. Alright, well, for next 30 seconds or something, I'll have to do my best Yorkshire accent while we talk about Felipe Farinaki. Now, he looked alright in slow championship. He wasn't doing so bad, wasn't old fella, so we'll see how he does here. He's just coming across start-finish line now to start his flying lap. He's flying his lad. We'll see what they can do here. There you go, there's your talk, right, Yorkshire. For viewers currently, welcome to the stream, to the SIMLiga CR1 Championship. We're in the final 15 minutes of practice at the minute. Victor Correa, the fastest man on track, with a 2 minutes or 7.7. Absolutely blistering lap time. We're with Felipe Farinaki at the minute. We're going to see what he can do. I'm very interested to see where he'll slot in. But a lot of the names here we've seen quite consistently throughout the championship, so always good to have drivers returning. Sally El Naji is also in the server. He's in the pits. We saw him actually driving last race with mouse and keyboard, so I hope he's got his wheel fixed for this race. He did do a pretty good performance. I think he finished in the top 10 out of, I think, 13 drives or something with a mouse and keyboard, so that was pretty cool by him. We'll see what the current man we're watching, Farinaki, we'll see what he can do. I'm just gonna take a quick drink. Got the heating on in this room and it's quite warm. Well, it's better than the rain outside. Have a quick swig of iron brew. Don't know if they have iron brew internationally, but if there's any Scottish viewers, they'll appreciate that, I'm sure. Alright, let's see what Farinaki does then as he comes across the start-finish line. Where's he gonna slot in? Yeah, he's gonna slot in P6. A few tenths behind Chris Walker, so looks like he's going to be a solid midfield contender. We'll stay with him, see what his second lap ends up being like, see if he can get his time any higher up the timesheets there. We also have another driver just joined the server. I believe that was Alessandro Rebeck. So we've got 10 drivers currently. Again, Rebeck being quite consistent in this championship. So it's always good to see him return. Alright, so he hasn't gone green in Sector 1. See what his second sector looks like. Come across that really tight left-hand hairpin. A very tricky corner, that one. And the long sweeping right-hander, which I imagine it's all flat in this car. To a spoon, I believe this corner's called. Spoon curve. Gonna put him onto this back straight. A slight kink to the left. Again, it should be flat in these cars. A lot of downforce in the Aquila CR1. Come up to 130R, then a very famous corner where we saw, I believe it was Kimi Raikkonen or was it Alonso overtake Michael Schumacher back in 2005. It's the final chicane. A bit of a right-hander onto the start-finish straight. See if Farinaki improves on his time. Like it. Alonso, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Raikkonen was the T1 overtake, wasn't he, against the other Renault. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Noel Comey. Yeah, and that's probably my favourite memory of Suzuka. That I think it was the 2005 race. All right, we'll see who else is out on track. Got Gajewski out on track, currently leading the championship by only 4 points. But it looks like he's off the pace a little bit at Suzuka. In Correa's lap time, he's just absolutely dominating the timesheets. If he can do that consistently throughout the race, it'll be interesting for sure. But again, like we say, it's all about the strategy come the actual race. We've seen Gajewski make the no-stop work. I don't think Gra has done a no-stop this season, and I don't think Correa has done a no-stop either this season. So Gajewski is the one who can make the no-stop work. It just depends how much time that's actually going to save him in come the actual race. But we'll see what his Sector 1 time... His Sector 1 time isn't going up, so I assume he's invalidated his lap time there. That's unfortunate. We've also got Alessandra Malad out on track, the ever-consistent Alessandro Malad. He's been improving all season. It's good to see him out on track again. His best lap time is a 2:17.9. As I just give him a bit of the commentator's curse there. As he goes off. Another driver who just joined the server. We have Nicola Cima. He's just joined the server as well. So it's good to see him return. So we're in the final 7 minutes. I'll just bring up for you the championship standings once again for anyone new who's joined, just so you know what's going on in the SIMLiga CR1 Championship. Valentin Gajewski currently leading 4 points ahead of Arthur Gra. These two have been swapping positions all season. It's been an absolutely crazy one. Then we have Mission Spinau in P3 with 68 points. 2 points ahead of Dario Imola, but he hasn't showed up for a few races, so I assume he's taking no further part in the championship. Will Davenport, thank you very much for the follow, much appreciated. And then the battle for P5, we have Walker, Chris Walker, Mars Nera, Soteris Torque, Yakimchik, and Correa. So P5 to P9, separated by only 8 points. So that's definitely an exciting one to watch. I don't think Yakimchik is taking any further part in this championship either. But Victor Correa, he had a podium last race, and is absolutely dominating the timesheets in practice, so we'll see where he ends up. Soteris Torque and Chris Walker were constantly battling last race, so if Soteris Torque does make the race today, we'll keep his eye on them. Then for P10, it's currently contested by Rebeck and El Naji, who both have the equal amount of points, both on the same points. And Danny Caffey only 1 point behind them, so the battle to close out the top 10 is a pretty close one as well. Pascal Elspas, he hasn't raced for a couple of races, so I don't think he's going to be taking much further part. Alessandro Malad, he finished in the top 10 last race. I think he got P8 or something, so he's improving, he's getting more consistent, and it'd be good to see if he can make a challenge for the top 10. That'd be good to see. Then Julio Rowe, I think he's only taken part in a couple of races, as has Koivico. And Chima, he's in this race again, so he'll be looking to secure a position higher up if he can score a few more points here. We're in the final 5 minutes now. Welcome to the stream, Chubby Panda. Thank you very much for joining us. We're in, like I say, the final final 5 minutes of practice. Not 7 minutes. We'll see who we've got out on track then. Soteris Torque has made the race. He is in the server. So that's good news. We have 12 drivers currently in the server. Only 8 of them have set a lap time in practice. But it's great to see that Soteris Torque has made this race, as he's currently in the battle for P5. So that's going to be awesome to see him, see if he can battle it out with Chris Walker for that P5 position. And I think Mars Nera as well. I'm not sure if Mars Nera is in the server just yet. Not that I can see. Maladux SIMLiga, yeah, exclamation mark SIMLiga, that's the link for the SIMLiga Discord server. They have plenty of championships going on as well as this one. They have an open wheel free content championship, and they also have the slid championship with the European track pack and the 2020 DTM cars and GT3 multi-class, which I'm currently racing in. And we need some more drivers for that actually, so hit that Discord link and you can join the championship. It'd be very nice to see you all there. It'd be good to race alongside some of you. So Correa still the fastest man on track with that 2:07.7, topping not only the timesheets but the online leaderboard. Arthur Grau 1.3 seconds behind, followed by Gajewski, another 1.3 seconds behind Grau. Then we have Mission Spinow in his own little world, just shy of 6 seconds behind the leader there. Then 6.3 seconds is Farinaki. He's about 4/10 behind Spinow. Farinaki new to this championship, so we'll be keeping his eye on him. Saliman 9, tough grid today. Welcome to the stream. It certainly is, yeah. Some very, very quick drivers out there on track. So Chris Walker only 1/10 behind Farinaki with his quickest time. So the midfield is very, very tight, which is always good to see. Then we have Alessandro Malad and Danny Caffey not too far behind him. So even towards the back of the grid, we're gonna hopefully see some battles going on as well. But as we come towards the end of the practice then, I'd just like to say welcome everybody to the SIMLiga CR1 Championship. This is round 6 And we're in Japan for the very world famous Suzuka circuit. This is round number 6. I believe I've already said that. But here's your event info. Yeah, round number 6 coming from the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit. And this is there's 8 rounds in total, so we're coming towards the end of the championship now. We currently have 12 drivers in the server, so another pretty decent turnout. I'll be a commentator talking you through the race today. I'm Jord Evans. Thank you very much for joining me. And if you want to see more sim racing content, be it Race Room and Race Room League Championships and various other things, I'd very much appreciate it if you could hit that follow button. But we come towards the end of practice now, and we'll be going into qualifying. This is where we'll see what the drivers can really do. By the looks of it, there is no Mars Nero unless he's going to join in qualifying. I think we've just got a couple of people finishing off the laps. And there's the session changing now. And who's the first one out? Gajewski, straight out. Is wasting no time. Neither is Gra. So Gajewski and Gra just straight out there. And this is pretty much probably going to be the fastest guys on the track. Sepang next week, and we're ending in Zandvoort, which is nice. Yeah, nice home race for you right at the end. And I have a feeling what Gra's going to do is he's going to try and use Gajewski's slipstream to try and get a little bit of extra time. If practice is anything to go by, he's going to need it to catch up to Victor Correa. He was absolutely dominating it. Looks like Gajewski's just moving out the way actually for Gra. I think he knows he's got a little bit more pace around this circuit, which is going to be important for Gra, because Gra doesn't really need to win the race, he just needs to beat Gajewski in the next couple of races. Obviously a P1 would help that, with a points difference, but we'll see what happens. So Correa's out, he was the fastest man in practice. And we'll see if he can take pole position. See where Gra's up to. I think he's, as far as track position's concerned, he's right out there at the front. We can ride on board with him. See, can we go to the interior view here? So we come round 130R. And I'll do my best to try and talk you through a lap of Suzuka when he crosses the start-finish line. I haven't raced here myself for quite a long time, and I don't think I've raced it in this particular car, but I'll try my best as we come round the final turn then onto the start-finish straight, the start of his flying lap. So here we go then for a lap around Suzuka on board with Arthur Gra. As you come into T1, it's a very, very easy corner to lose the rear, so you've got to be very, very careful on the brakes. But hitting the first apex, letting the car run out wide, bringing it back in for that second apex, and using that runoff on the left-hand side. As then you come in through the S's, a very technical section of the track. You're going left, then right, then left again. Then you've got to slow it down a bit for this quite long sweeping right-hander. And then it's an uphill left-hander. You've got to get it tucked in nice and tight, because the track really goes away from you on the exit. And then you try and keep it to the left-hand side, reduce that track distance. Coming into Degner 1, you want to hit the apex nicely. Coming into Degner 2, same thing. Get the best run you can onto this bit of a straight section. And then it sweeps right into the braking zone for this really tight hairpin. Very, very difficult to get right in this car that has no anti-lock braking system. So you got to be very careful on the brakes. But around the hairpin then, for this long sweeping right-hander, just keeping your foot flat to the floor, trying to get as short a track distance as you can while maintaining that momentum down into spoon, braking just where that little green patch is on the right-hand side. And again, you want to double apex this corner, bring it in nice and tight. Careful on the exits. If you get the power down too early, you'll end up in the little gravel trap there. As there's a slight kink to the right as we come into probably the most famous corner of the Suzuka circuit, the 130R corner. Is he going to lift? And there is a little bit of a lift round there in this car. As then we come into the final chicane. You're going to go to the right, keep it to the middle, to the left. And then you want to get the best run you possibly can out of here onto the start-finish straight. And you'll see him, what he does on his actually hot lap is keep the car to the right-hand side. That's to reduce the track distance and hopefully get a quicker lap time. But that's a 2 minutes 10 from Arthur Graf. So it will probably improve on that. Now the fastest man in practice was of course Victor Correa, so we'll stay on board with him for just a little bit. And I don't think he's actually on a flying lap just yet. So let's see who is on a flying lap. Is Soteris Talk. He's on a flying lap, just finishing a flying lap. He does a 2:14.1. So he's going to be P3. Remember, we need to keep an eye on Soteris Talk and Chris Walker. And oh, we do have Dario Imola. Dario Imola has joined this race. I think he missed the last race, which is a shame. But it's good to see him back out on track. I wonder where he's going to slot in with all this. But Graf currently the fastest man. It doesn't look like Gajewski's set a lap time. I don't think he's on a flying lap either. It certainly doesn't appear that way. Is Victor Correa, he's just started his flying lap then. The man who was fastest in practice, as we're in the final 10 minutes of qualifying now. We'll see what he can do lap time wise. I think his best time were a 2:07.7, an absolute blistering lap time. The quickest time, not only in the race but on the leaderboards as well. I know I keep mentioning it, but it just gives you an idea of the level of competition at the top of this championship. These are some seriously quick drivers. And he has gone purple in Sector 1. So we'll see if he can continue this momentum through Sector 2. And possibly Sector 3 as well. As it comes round the sweeping right-hander into spoon. And getting right on that curb there. Keeping it nice and tight for that second apex. See if he can get a good run on the back straight. And just keeps it in track limits there. Very easy to go a bit too wide. But he's managed to keep it in. And is it going to be a purple Sector 2 as he is on the straight? It is. It's going to be a purple Sector 2 as it goes around 130R. Onto the final 3 turns. We'll see if he can hit those 207s again. Onto the final right-hander then. Onto the start-finish straight. And we'll see what sort of lap time he does. Is it going to be a 2:07? No, it's just going to be a 2:08.0, but that's alright. It's good enough for provisional pole. And it looks like he's quite happy with himself there. And returns to the pits. Meanwhile, we have we'll go back to Soteris Talk, currently in P5. Looks like Chris Walker has gone quicker by him than a couple of tenths. I don't think he's actually on a flying lap now, though. We'll have a look at Gajewski. He is. So we'll see what sort of time Gajewski can do, the current leader of the championship. We'll see what he manages to do here. So around the sweeping right-hander into spoon. He does have a green Sector 1, but he doesn't...
Everyone's discovering the power of 5G, but we've been helping millions of renters get into 5G for years. And also 6G, and 4C, and 2R, and 7L.
Apartments.com, the most popular place to find a place. This Reacher fella, there's no online profile at all. The only proof he exists is the fact that he's sitting in that room.
What is a guy like that doing in Margrave?
The people of this town want justice, but not from you.
I'm gonna uncover this whole operation, then burn it to the ground. Trouble just kind of seems to find me.
Watch Reacher now. Only on Prime Video.
Lucky, lucky me, lucky, lucky me. Ooh, I get what I want, I get what I need. Yeah. Lucky, lucky me, lucky, lucky me. Ooh, I have one of those, I have one of these. I have one of those, I have one of these. I have one of those, I have one of these.
Get a taco a day for 30 days for $10 with the new Taco Lovers Pass, only on the app.
Xfinity Internet gives IM Brandon Wi-Fi speed faster than a gig.
Can your internet do that?
14 drivers we now have in the server. Now, Dario Imola was contending for P1 in the championship, but unfortunately a DNF and a DNS in the past two races, I think, has put him out of contention for the top spot. We'll see what he can do in this race as we come into the final 5 minutes of qualifying then. He has improved in Sector 1. Comes around this tight left-hand hairpin then. Onto this little almost straight with the right turns on the run down to Spoon. They'll be looking for the green stuff just there. Your braking points just before there. Using all the track, coming back in for that second apex. Trying not to go out too wide. That looks nice and tidy. You can use a little bit more runoff there, so he's not using all the track that you can, but it's still, I imagine it's going to be a pretty quick time. He might even be picking up a little bit of slipstream as well, as he has gone green in Sector 2. It's all green but no purple, but he could get close to Gra here. Gra's improved his lap time. He's only 1.5 seconds behind Correa now. But Correa absolutely dominating the timesheets. Now Imola is... he does seem to prefer the no-stop strategy if he can get away with it. And he's just done a 2 minutes 12 dead. Now Gajewski has put his lap time in, but he's 3 seconds behind Correa. About 1.7 seconds behind Gra, so he hasn't quite got that pace this race, it would seem. But we'll see who else is out on track then. Alessandro Rebeck has been quite consistent at showing up this championship. Currently sitting in P7. About 1.4 seconds behind Soteris Talk there. It looks like Rebeck's sort of in a little bit of a race of his own. His Sector 1's not green, so I don't think he's going to improve there. We'll see what Sector 2's like for him. As comes into Spoon then, hits the first apex. Keeps a bit of a tighter line as he hits that second apex. And, oh, is that... yeah, he just kept it in track limits. He might have had to lift there on the exit, though. But we'll see what happens for his Sector 2 time. Is it going to improve? And, no, that's not a green Sector 2, unfortunately. Another new driver, Jordan Campbell. We saw him in the Open Wheel Championship, but I don't think he's done any races in the CR1 Championship, so be interesting to see where he slots into everything. And also, Ali the Boss. This isn't a driver I've seen before either. So interesting stuff. Not quite sure what happened there. I think he might have missed the corner. Damn it, I bottled it and could not set a time. Well, last to first challenge for you then, Malad Duck. That's Alessandra Malad. Yeah, so the final minute and a half of qualifying then. And if these drivers want to set a time, they're going to have to be pretty sharpish about it. Mission spin out. He hasn't set a time yet, but he's got a green sector 1 or a valid sector 1. So we'll see where he slots into everything. Again, another pretty decent midfield driver here. And he keeps it nice and tidy on the run into 130R. This is also going to be a green sector. It's in around 130R now then. The last 30 seconds of qualifying. Here comes round the last corner. Well, qualifying ended early, it would seem. That's a shame. I'm not sure why that's the case. Quite odd. But there you go, Victor Correa in pole position. Then we have Arthur Gra in P2, Valentin Gajewski P3, Dario Imla P4. Mission Spinau did get his lap in actually, so he goes P5 ahead of Soteris Talk by 3/10, and Chris Walker's only 7/10 behind Spinau. So these guys who are battling for position in the championship are definitely going to be battling for position out on track. And then we have Alessandro Rebeck, Nicola Cima and Danny Caffey in P10. A couple of drivers didn't manage to set a lap time, but we'll see what happens come the race. I'll just give you a quick look at the championship standings so you know where everything is before the race gets underway. Valentin Gajewski leads Arthur Gra by 4 points, and it's Mission Spinout in P3, Dario Imla in P4. Then the battle for P5 between Chris Walker, Mars Nera, Soteris Talk, Sergei Yakimchik and Victor Correa. Then to for the rest of the field, for P10, you have Alessandro Rebeck, Sally Olnage, Danny Caffey, Pascal Elspas, and then we have Malad P14, Julio Ro, Samuel Koivico, and Nicola Cima. But here we are. This is it. They all line up on the grid, and we're gonna see what happens here as the lights are red, and we await for the start of the race. 15 cars on the grid. Victor Correa leads them all, and it's lights out, and off they all go. And it looks like Victor Correa does lead, and something happening for the battle for P2. It's Gajewski and Gra going at it. Both of these guys are contending for the lead in the championship, and it looks like Gajewski might have got the golden Gra, but Gra retakes it, and Nicola Cima gets a disqualification for a false start. That's unfortunate for him. But Victor Correa maintains P1 as he leads the pack then on lap 1, followed closely by Arthur Gra in P2, and Valentin Gajewski in P3, and Dario Imla not far behind him. And is Gajewski and Imla having a bit of a ding-dong here? They are. It looks like Imla's got up the inside and Gajewski just goes off wide a little bit there. So that's Dario Imla up a position, and this is actually going to help out Arthur Gra in the championship, because remember, he's 4 points behind Gajewski, so the more positions between Gra and Gajewski, the better it's going to be for Gra. So that's good news for him, but it looks like Gajewski's having none of it. He's coming back, he's going to look up the inside and then round the outside for the tight right-hander, but there's nothing it can do there. And it looks like Soteris Talk isn't far behind them, so he's going to be having a look at this. But yeah, Imola makes up a position on Gajewski, who is leading the championship. Brilliant stuff. Already on lap 1, we're seeing some battles. Let's have a look a bit further down the grid then. Soteris Talk, he's doing really well up in P5. He's got past Mission Spinow. I'm not sure what happened to Chris Walker, but he's right down in P9. So a bit of a very interesting sort of first lap, and these guys in the midfield are very close. So this is Felipe Farinaki, he's leading Chris Walker and Jordan Campbell as they're coming to finish out lap 1, and it looks like Imola and Gajewski still going at it. And I'm not sure where... Gajewski's off, as Gajewski's gone into the gravel and he's had to rejoin. I'm not sure what happened there, I do apologise for missing that. And Gajewski has gone off. What's happened to Gajewski here? The championship leader, it looks like he's gone off, and that is really unfortunate for him. But that promotes Dario Imola into P3, and the man who's going to enjoy this is Arthur Gra, who's still on Victor Correa's tail. He's going to not be letting him out of his sights one bit. That's also put Mission Spinow up into P4. And is this Soteris Talk going for a move up the inside? There's a little bit of door banging, a little bit of contact. But Spinow manages to hold on just for now. As Soteris Talk, all over the back of him, is going to bring it towards the left now. And it looks like Spinow has held on just for now. Crazy, crazy stuff. And it looks like the battle for P6 is quite a close one as well, as this is Alessandro Rebeck. And he's going to overtake Felipe Farinaki, that is. Look how close these guys are in the battle for P6. A little bit of contact there. But it looks like Alessandro Rebeck is going to pull ahead, and behind him, Felipe Farinaki side by side with Jordan Campbell and Chris Walker behind them. This is so close in the midfield as they come into the tight left-hander, the hairpin there. And it looks like Farinaki is going to hold on to his position just in front of Jordan Campbell and Chris Walker. As it's Alessandro Rebeck who leads them. So many cars on track. But fantastic stuff here. I just need to get my breath back for a second. And what's this? It looks like Alessandro Rebeck's gone off. And that's let Farinaki and a couple of other guys back through. Farinaki, Campbell and Chris Walker all get through there. So that's unfortunate for him, but that's going to give them a few more points. And it looks like Farinaki is pulling ahead, but let's go back to the battle for P1. Correa still leading then from Arthur Gra, but Gra, like I said, he's not going to let him out of his sights if he can help it. Victor Correa did have a slight pace advantage, but it's actually Arthur Gra who has the faster best lap. His best lap is a 2 minutes 10.4 compared to Correa's 2 minutes 10.6. So Arthur Gra at the minute does have the race pace and is all over the back of him. So it's definitely close stuff here. Let's see what's happening with Spinow and Torque. No, sorry, that's Imola. Let's have a look at Torque. I think Torque is still in P5, so it looks like there's not been much happening there. This is the midfield battle still then. It looks like Farinaki is pulling ahead slightly of Jordan Campbell and Chris Walker. So again, this is good news for Torque in the championship as well, because he's trailing by a few points. So again, for him, the more positions between himself and Walker, the better. So he's currently got Campbell and Farinaki between those two. So that's definitely going to be some good news. And it looks like Chris Walker's making a move up the inside of Campbell. And he just snuck it up the inside there, but Campbell's going to have the inside for the hairpin, and he's going to retake the position as Walker just went a little bit deep there. So this is some good battling here by these two. Let's have another look at the leaders. It looks like Graz is only 2/10 behind, and he might even have a bit of a slipstream on the run into 130R. I think this is where they are now. So we'll keep his eye on this. He's having a look up the inside. He thinks about it, but decides to tuck back in. Now, we have seen a couple of moves in real life work at 130R, but I don't think that's going to be the case this time. And it looks like Gra's going to try and get a bit of a run here as he tries a bit of a different line, trying to get the better corner exit, sacrificing the entry for the exit for the run into the straight. Still just over 2/10 behind. So he hasn't lost out on any time, and in fact he is gaining a little bit. Is he going to go for the move at T1? It doesn't look like it. It looks like he just backs out of it, but Correa goes a little bit wide. Can this be Gras' opportunity? Is up the inside. They go side by side then on the first corner into the S's, and it looks like Correa just holds on. That could have been Gras' opportunity, but he's right all over the back now. He is not giving Correa anything at all. He's going to be stuck behind him the whole race until until he can find a way past. He does get a couple of his tyres on the grass there, and that's not going to help him at all there. But it's still less than half a second between them, so we will keep his eye on that. And no, I'll come. Did Gajewski retire? No, Gajewski didn't retire. He's still out on track. He had a bit of an incident earlier, so he's trying to regain positions. But like I said, it's good news for Gras in the championship. Now it looks like we have a bit of a battle for P5 here. This is Soteris Torque and Felipe Falinaki, and not far behind them, I think that's Jordan Campbell. Now remember, Soteris Torque, this is good news for him because he needs these championship points for that battle for P5 in the championship. So he'll be really wanting to hold on to this P5 position. But it looks like Farinaki and Campbell and those drivers have all sort of caught up with him just a little bit. Daria Imla gets a slowdown penalty for track limits. And Farinaki catching right back up to Torque. And remember, Torque wants those positions between himself and Walker. Now Farinaki giving him a bit of a bump draft. And a bit of a twitch there from Torque. That might have been a little bit naughty. But we'll see what happens. They're going to go into 130R. Are we going to see a 130R overtaking attempt by Farinaki? It'd be quite something if we did, but no. He backs out of it. Probably the smart thing to do. It's not a particularly easy place to get an overtake to work there, but I think Farinaki does have the pace advantage on Torque. So Soteris Torque's fastest lap time is a 2:14.1. Farinaki's fastest lap time a 2:12.2. So Farinaki is the quicker driver, I think, on race pace as they come into T1. Then he's just going to tuck into the slipstream. And is he going to have a look for a move? Torque goes a little bit defensive there, tries to... Oh, he's gone off wide, and that's going to let Farinaki past. And more importantly, how many positions is that going to cost Soteris Torque? Is Campbell going to get through as well, or is he going to hold on to Campbell? As they go on side by side, and Campbell does get through, just. So that's very unfortunate for Soteris Torque, making that mistake into T1. And Chris Walker isn't far behind him, and remember, those two are battling for position in the championship. There is a little bit of a gap, so Torque does have a bit of a safety net there. But he could have done with those extra points, and judging by the pace of Farinaki and Campbell, it looks like there already is a bit of a gap forming, so we'll keep his eye on Torque. It was very unfortunate that he made that mistake. Very tough stuff. Meanwhile, Farinaki does have a little bit of a gap to Campbell, so that's going to be good news for him. We'll have a look a little bit further down the grid. We have Alessandro Rebeck in P9, who was quite high up in the race earlier, but he made a mistake at Spoon Curve, so that were a bit unfortunate for him. But he's currently P9. There's Sally El Naji in P10. And Danny Cafe P11. Alessandro Malad not far behind him. Now then we have Valentin Gajewski in P13, the championship leader, who had that big incident earlier on, so he's going to be trying to fight his way back through the grid. I'm not quite sure what happened with Gajewski there, but we're unfortunate for sure. I'm not sure who this is who is coming up. So this is Ali the Boss. So he's P14, so it looks like he's gonna get lapped already. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happened with him. He's gone off the track a little bit. And Nicola Chima actually, yeah, he got disqualified, so unfortunate for him also. But let's go back to the battle for P1. Victor Correa has pulled out a 1 second gap ahead of Gras. So that's good news for him. Gra doesn't really need to win the race with Gajewski so far behind. He can chill out a bit. But these two, they've got a 14-second gap to Dario Imola. Mission Spinow's not too far behind him, with about 1.7 gap. And we do have some movement towards the back of the grid. That's Gajewski, who's just overtaken Alessandro Malad there. So he'll be fighting his way back through the grid. I don't think he's too far behind Danny Caffey. Just a few seconds between those two. We'll go back and have a look at the midfield. Farinaki still leading Jordan Campbell by a couple of seconds there. Sally El Naji gets a slowdown penalty. And Victor Correa does currently have the fastest race lap with a 109.7. And we'll go to Gajewski again, who I think is making up some time on Danny Caffey. And Jordan Campbell gets a slowdown penalty as Gajewski goes through and overtakes Caffey. That puts him into P11 then. And a bit of a gap to Ilnaji with the next car. It looks like the battle for P3 is closing up here as well. I think Spinow is slowly but surely catching up to Dario Imola. So that's going to be one to watch for us as well. I'm just going to take a quick drink because my throat's getting a little bit dry here. Alright, that's a bit better. Oh, is there a... Thought for a second there might have been a battle between Caffey and Malad. Malad might actually be catching Caffey up a little bit here. So again, that's going to be one to watch. So leading is still Correa. He's now got a 2-second gap ahead of Gra. So he's definitely found some pace now as Correa, and he is starting to pull ahead a little bit. Then we have Dario Imola in P3 and Mission Spinell not that far behind him. About 2 seconds behind him, I think. And actually Spinell has the quickest lap time out of between him and Imola. Imola's quickest time is a 2:13.2, Spinell's is a 2:13.1. But not much in it, it's actually about 2/100ths of a second, so they are about the same pace, but so it's going to be about who can be more consistent between these two. Now Soteris Talk has gone down to P8, so I'm not sure what's happened to Soteris Talk. He's gone right down to P8. Chris Walker's managed to overtake him. I don't know if maybe he did a pit stop or something, I'm not quite sure there, but he has gone down to P8. He's not that far behind Walker by the looks of it. About... So I don't think it's a pit stop, because there's only about 5 seconds between them. So I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he had a mistake or something like that. We'll go back to the midfield. Farinaki still a couple of seconds ahead of Campbell. So not much has changed there. It looks like the field has sort of dispersed a little bit. A lot of people in their own little races. Now, where did Campbell go then? Campbell comes in for his pit stop, so you will see a couple of drivers just coming in for the pit stops now. As that's Chris Walker who passes Farinaki while he's in the pits. Passes Campbell while he's in the pits. That's let a few drivers pass there. Victor Correa now with a 3-second gap ahead of Gra. I'm not sure if Gra's purposely lifted off it just a little bit, just to try and get to the end of the race. He might be going for that one-stop strategy, which we've seen some drivers do before. Meanwhile, I think Gajewski is slowly but surely catching up to El Naji now. So he'll be looking to get in that top 10. Try and rescue some points. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, he's right on the back of El Naji now. Very quick driver, Gajewski, but we have seen El Naji pretty good in wheel-to-wheel racing. Gajewski's gonna look for a way past, and it looks like El Naji's defending well from him so far, but Gajewski's gonna have the slipstream. He's gonna look round the outside for the tight hairpin, and he's gonna try a bit of a switchback, the old switcheroo. What a beautiful overtaking manoeuvre by Gajewski, and it looks like he has the legs on him down the straight as well. And we'll see if he can hang on to it into a spoon curve, but what a beautiful switchback. Absolutely brilliant overtaking move by Gajewski. That were lovely. That were beautiful. You know me, I love a good switcheroo. So that were good stuff by him. Spinell now comes into the pit lane for his stop for fuel. That's going to promote Farinaki. As it looks like a couple of them coming into the pits now, actually, at with a sort of 10 minutes to go point. Farinaki goes. So Correa still leading, around about a 3-second gap. We'll see what happens with him. Looks like Spinell's just overtaken someone, actually. I assume that's someone who's in the pits. Campbell not far behind him. And Spinell not far behind Rebeck, actually. I don't see many other drivers that are close by. Like El Naji just went in front of Malad. So I think, is Malad coming into the pits? Yep. Alessandro Malad comes into the pits then. It looks like Spinell and Campbell are sort of his closest drivers. In fact, there's 3 of them. There's Alessandro Rebeck just ahead of them. So this is the battle for provisional P6. Obviously, it depends on people's various pit stop strategies and such. And it looks like Mission Spin Out is going to go for the move on Rebeck. Oh. Spin Out, sorry. Yeah, he's going to go for the move on Rebeck, and Jordan Campbell's going to try following through. As Rebeck goes just off wide just a little bit there, but Campbell gets through then. So Spinell and Campbell both up a position. Correa, Grat and Gajewski in a league of their own. Yeah, they're very, very quick drivers of those guys. Very quick drivers. But it looks like the battle for P7 is the one to watch at the minute. The Spinell who leads Campbell. I'm not sure what happened to Farinaki. He will lead in this little group of drivers. He's gone down into P9 now. I'm not sure if he had a bit of a slow pit stop or something like that, but he's lost out on a couple of positions. But oh no, it looks like a couple of drivers have come into the pits now. So Walker being one of them, he's in the pit stops. As has Soteris Talk, as he's just got past Walker in the pits. So. And Chris Walker gets a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This is brilliant news for Talk. This is exactly what Soteris Talk needs to regain that P5 in the championship. That's going to be good news for him. Meanwhile, it looks like Spinell, Campbell and Rebeck are still at it. So this is Spinell on the back of Jordan Campbell now. Not much separating these two. This is for provisional P4. I'm not sure if either of these have done a pit stop or not yet, but we'll see if Spinell can do anything. I believe Spinell's quite high up in the championship as well. And is he going to try a bit of a switchback? Campbell just parks it on the apex, so good defensive driving from him. Looking at the lap times, it is Campbell with the quicker lap time of these two, but it looks like Spinell, with that extra bit of slipstream, is going to be all over the back of him, and we're going to see, as they come into Spoon, if Spinell's going to try and make a move here, or...
Introducing the most rugged Honda vehicles yet. Rise to the challenge with the Honda Pilot, CR-V, and all-new Passport Trail Sport.
And free, not a better damn free, trying to get down down free. It free in here for free, trying to get down, make it on free. And free and free. Here we go, it free. Free, trying to get down free. It free in here, free.
That's right. TurboTax Free Edition is free. See details at TurboTax.com.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Crypto is complicated, but as a tax expert with crypto experience, you can hand your taxes off to me. You do your thing, we've got your taxes. Intuit, TurboTax Live.
Looks like he has got the move done on Alessandro Rebeck, so Gajewski up into P7 now. So he's made up quite a lot of positions, on a bit of a recovery drive, of course. Imola still P3, he's in a bit of his own race. And it looks like Campbell is pulling away from Mission Spinell a little bit. Farinaki's not too far behind them either. So that's going to be one to watch. Farinaki actually has a quicker lap time than Imola, Campbell and Spinell. In fact, Farinaki's quickest lap time is only 0.02 of a second slower than Gajewski's. Now, what's this? Arthur Gra comes into the pit lane for a bit of a splash and dash from P2. That's going to be important. Does he have enough of a gap from Imola? We'll see now as he comes out of the pits. I think he does. There's Imola there. And he does have enough of a gap to finish P2. Meanwhile, it looked like someone went into the wall there. That were Alessandro Malad. Not quite sure what happened there, but Victor Correa still leading then. He's leading the race, followed by Arthur Gra in P2, Dario Imola P3, Jordan Campbell still P4, holding off from Mission Spinell, who's in P5, Felipe Farinaki P6, he's going to try and join this battle for P4, Gajewski not far behind them, in P7, on a bit of a recovery drive. Then we have Alessandro Rebeck, who's just coming in for a splash and dash at the end. That's El Naji in P9, but we'll soon see him get promoted to P8, as he overtakes Rebeck in the pits. Here's to Terrace Talk then, not far behind El Naji, who has quite a substantial gap to Walker, as Walker got his drive-through penalty, which I believe he is actually serving now, so that's going to put him back a couple of positions, and so Terrace Talk's really going to hope that there's going to be a couple of positions between himself and Walker, see if he can get that P5 in the championship. But Alessandro Malad's in P12, Danny Cafe is in P13, and then we have Ali the Boss, who... Not quite sure what's going on with Ali the Boss. I think that's a retirement. And Nicola Chima, unfortunately, had the disqualification. But is this Victor Correa coming into the pit lane now? It is from P1. Now, is Arthur Gra going to be able to overtake Victor Correa in the pit lane as we come into the final 3 minutes of the race? This is massive. Where is Correa going to come out? He's coming out just now of the pit lane. And where is Gra? It looks like Gra just doesn't quite have the legs, but he has closed that gap down. It's less than 2 seconds. Now, Victor Correa had a 4-second gap, and it looks like Gra's bringing it down even further. And it's just over a second gap now to Victor Correa, so that's important. Can Gra, in the last stages of the race, steal the position? We'll see what happens as Campbell is still P4, followed by Spinell, who's not far behind him. And Farinaki is caught up a little bit to him as well, as they come into T1, and it looks like they've got a bit of traffic. I think that's Danny Caffey. And that's Spinell looking for a way past. Jordan Campbell goes off wide, and that's going to let Spinell through. More about Farinaki. He's gone off as well. So Spinell now up into P4, but what's this? Is Arthur Gra going to be able to overtake Correa at the hairpin in the final 2 minutes of the race we're coming up to? This was a brilliant strategy call from Gra. The final 2 minutes of the race for the lead of the race. And Gra is all over Victor Correa. With that strategy, that's brought his gap right down. I assume it saved a little bit of fuel, so he didn't have to put as much fuel on board than Correa did. But we'll be keeping an eye on that, as Spinell and Campbell are also battling it out. It's hard to keep up with all this, but let's stick with Arthur Gra for now. Can he find a way past Victor Correa? And he's just gone off a bit wide there. And that might, don't think that's going to help him much. But he's still right on the tail of him. Well within slipstream range. So that's going to be a massive help to him. And let's see what happens here. Look how close these two are. In the final minute of the race, I assume this is going to be the last lap. And can Gra find a way past? He's looking up the inside, but he's just not quite close enough. Maybe a bit of a nudge there as they go through T1. This is fantastic racing right to the end of the race. And Dario Imla's just got a slowdown penalty for track limits. But the gap now goes up to about half a second, so unless Gra's taking a different line to try and find a better exit, it looks like Correa's just got the slight pace advantage there. But that was fantastic stuff. Meanwhile, the battle for P4, we still have Spinell and Campbell. And it looks like Gajewski is actually not far behind. He's not far behind Farinaki either, so Gajewski could make up an extra position and save himself some more points. But this is the battle for P1, right at the end of the race, so separated by less than a second. And Gra's going to try everything he can to get past. I assume this is where we're going to see the checkered flag. Or there might be one more lap after it. We'll just have to wait and see. But Danny Caffey gets a slowdown penalty there. But this is Victor Correa then. And meanwhile, it looks like Campbell has overtaken Spinell. So Campbell up into P4 there. But this is what we're watching to see if Victor Correa can hold on to his lead in the closing stages of the race. And it looks like there's still less than half a second between them as they come onto the run into 130R. What's this gonna end up like? And Gra goes off just a bit wide again there. And has he gone round the outside? Has Gra made a move round the outside of Correa? And it looks like there might have been a bit of contact there, and Gra does get the slowdown penalty, but he does sneak past Correa right at the end of the race. Now, was that a legal overtake? The stewards might be looking at it at the end of the race, but that's the race, and it looks like Arthur Gra might have just stole it at the end there, but it does have a slowdown penalty, so I'm not sure, and he has a bit of a spin there at the end. But yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, Gra is the provisional race winner. Right at the end of it, Correa P2. Dario Imola then It looks like, did he make a mistake? Because Campbell's right on his back. This is the battle for P3 as he goes off at the chicane as well. He gets a slow down penalty. But I think Imola is going to close out the podium here. Followed by Jordan Campbell, who does eventually get that P4. And no, did Imola run out of fuel right at the end? It looks like Campbell's finished P3. Mission Spinhouse finished P4. Dario Imola's finished P5. I think he ran out of fuel. Farinaki P6 then. And that's Valentin Gajewski P7. Soteris Talk, he's just coming across the line in P8. With P9, Alessandro Rebeck. P10's currently Sally Elnagi. So 2 positions behind him and Chris Walker. That's going to be good news for Talk in the championship. Then we have Alessandro Malad, P12. And who's this P13? It's Danny Caffey. Then retirements from Ali the Boss and Nicola Chima. But Arthur Gra is the provisional race winner. That was crazy stuff at the end. I'm not sure if that was a legal overtake, but if that's the case, then Arthur Gra did win the race. More importantly, he's going to be P1 in the championship now. Victor Correa comes P2 on the last corner. Jordan Campbell gets P3 and Spinau gets promoted to P4 after Imola once again runs out of fuel on the line. He seems to have very bad luck with that, but Farinaki comes P6. A decent drive from Gajewski to race his way back up the field after that incident from earlier on. Soteris Talk P8, Rebeck P9, Elnagi P10, Chris Walker P11 after his drive-through penalty. Alessandro Malad P12, Danny Caffey P13, Ali the Boss P14, and P15 for Nicola Chima there. What a fantastic race. Alessandro Malad says in the chat, this race seems very chaotic. I do not like this track for sure.